Peace be with you. Dear friends, welcome to Living Flame Podcast website and Facebook group. Gospel reflections for Monday in the 17th week in the ordinary time. Gospel according to Matthew chapter 13 verses 31 to 35. Two little parables, the parable of the mustard seed and the parable of the leaven. The mustard plant of Palestine was very different from the mustard plant which we know in our country. To be strictly accurate, the mustard seed is not the smallest of seeds. The seed of the cypress tree, for instance, is still smaller. But in the East, it was proverbial for smallness. For example, the Jews talked of a drop of blood as small as a mustard seed, or if they were talking of some tiny breach of the ceremonial law, they would speak of a defilement as small as a mustard seed. And Jesus himself used the phrase in this way when he spoke of faith as a grain of mustard seed in Matthew's Gospel, chapter 17, verse 20. In Palestine, this little grain of mustard seed did grow into something very like a tree. Thompson, who has written a beautiful book, The Land and the Book, he writes there, I have seen this plant on the rich plain of Akkar, as tall as the horse and his rider. He says, with the help of my guide, I uprooted a veritable mustard tree, which was more than 12 feet high. Well, in this parable, there is no exaggeration at all. Further, it was common sight to see such mustard bushes or trees surrounded with a cloud of birds. For the birds love the little black seeds of the tree and settle on the tree to eat them. Jesus said that his kingdom was like the mustard seed and its growth into a tree. The point is crystal clear. The kingdom of heaven starts from the smallest beginnings, but no man knows where it will end. That is what we find, that Jesus' kingdom has gone far and wide. The birds of the air, who are these? You can just imagine millions and millions of people resting on the Word of God, taking benefit of the Word of God, get shelter under the Word of God in the church, listening to the message of Christ. They are healed, they get rest. So that is what we mean by the mustard seed that grows and becomes a tree. So we need to understand in our own daily life that the seed that we plant of the Word of God around us can grow and become a big tree and can shelter so many people in it. Then he has another small parable. The kingdom of heaven is like leaven, which a woman took and hid in 3 measures of meal until the whole was leavened. Well, this is another parable that tells us of the expansion of God's kingdom. How this particular leaven, the 3 measures of meal was put, it becomes so tasty. The leavened bread is fermented, and then it is tasty for consuming. Dear friends, today as we meditate on this parable, the whole point of the parable lies in one thing: the transforming power of the leaven. Leaven changed the character of a whole baking. Unleavened bread is like a water biscuit, hard, dry, unappetizing, and not very interesting. Bread baked with leaven is soft, porous, spongy, tasty, and good to eat. The introduction of the leaven causes a transformation in the dough, and the coming of God's kingdom causes a transformation in our life and in the life of the society. Let us ask the Lord today that we become practically the seed of the Word of God through our word, through our gestures, through a good word, and spreading God's kingdom around us, that it can become a tree and shelter the birds of the air, and it can really become the leaven that makes the bread tasty, crispy, and worth consuming. Let these two parables enlighten us, help us to spread God's kingdom around us, within us, and thus we will be the light of the world and salt of the earth. God bless you.